Wonderful. Well, I know folks are going to continue to trickle in, but we will kick it off now since it is 7:01. I just want to thank everybody so much for joining this evening. My name is Roger Katz. I'm the Assistant Director of Student Recruitment at Hebrew Public, and we have a really special event this evening because we're going to have our second virtual open house of this school year. And so I will say as we get started, we do have a chat feature turned on. So if while you're watching the presentation, you have some questions, please feel encouraged to drop them into the chat. We will do our best to do some Q&A at the end, and we have our team here. And any questions that are applicable to everybody, we will repeat and go through. And so without further ado, I want to turn it over to Miss Daniela Steinberg, HLA's head of school, and we can jump right in. Daniela?
Thank you, Roger. I was going to say it's so nice to see everyone tonight, but this is definitely a different version. But even though this is on Zoom, I'm really happy that people are joining. I'm excited to be here. So we'll start by just saying welcome. We're glad to have you. I have a couple members of my team here tonight that I will introduce. But I just want to say that HLA is a very special place. It's a place that is very close to my heart. And I'm really hopeful that you all will join our family. Could go ahead, Roger. All right, so just to kind of give you our goal for the evening, we just want to help you learn about our school, hear all the great things, get some information, and then hopefully make the best choice for your child for their education. All right, we're going to start with the video. It's going to be good.
Hi, my name is Orvin. I'm a first grader from HLA. The teachers are nice, and we have some fun specials.
Hi, we are part of the HLA family. I'm Dina. And I'm Jacob. What I love most subject is science because I get to do experiments and learn all about the world.
And I love that I'm able to communicate with his teachers at any time.
I'm Marsha.
I'm Eliana. I love HLA because my teachers are amazing and because they care about me.
Whether it be the students themselves who are amazing, inspiring, fantastic kids, or it is our teachers who can really overcome anything.
Come join us at the HLA family,
Great. So just so you know a little bit about that, we did something really, really cool. We did a music video during quarantine. So we had our music teacher teach kids a song over Zoom, and then they recorded it in all of their personal spaces at home. And then someone from our team in Hebrew Public, his name is Gino, he did this really cool remix, and he was able to put all of the singers together, and we made a music video. The kids were really excited about it. It was fabulous. So you saw a little part of that in that video. And it was just one of the many exciting things that we did. Even though this has been a really, really challenging year, we've done our best to still have fun and be together, right? So that was what you watched. So Just to let you know what to expect during this presentation this evening, we'll give you a little bit of information about charter schools if that's something that's new for your family. I'll talk about our mission and values, which are really like true to our heart and what guide all of our work. We do have a virtual school tour since we are home tonight. You'll be able to see our school and see some elements of our building, which is a really nice building, I must say. We'll talk a little bit about curriculum so you know what to expect in all of our grades. And then there are some FAQs, and then we'll just talk about the different ways that we stay connected with our families, which have been especially important this year just because everyone's been at home. So that's it. All right, so the people that keep our building going, I'm going to let my two team members that are here tonight introduce themselves, and then I'll just let you know the other people on our team. So let's start with Mr. Richardson.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mr. Richardson. Thank you for the introduction. I am the interim assistant head of school for the middle school, and I have been in this role, or been in the school for 2 years. As Ms. Steinberg said, HLA is a really awesome place, and I'm excited to share more about it with you.
Thanks.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Livette Robles. I am the interim assistant head of school for operations, and I joined the HLA family in 2017, and I'm so excited to welcome you all into our family.
Thank you. So the people that are not here tonight, we have Maria Rosen. She's our assistant head of school for our lower school. That's K-4. And we also have Kariatu. She is our, well, that's not right. Sorry, guys. She's our director of culture for K-8. And so she kind of supervises our assistant deans and our culture team. So that's her role on our team. All right. And we must say our teachers are the people that have been, I have no words to describe how much these people are committed to our kids. They are very, very special people, and they have done amazing this year over everything that we've been through with COVID-19. They have really inspired me and all of us as they continue to show up for kids. They always put our kids first, and I think they're really special. So I just wanted to show you just a quick example of our teachers having some fun recently when we reopened our school. Thanks. All right, so we opened our school recently, and we just thought we would have some fun. Anything that we ask kids to do, we always want to do ourselves. So that was our Hebrew dance teacher, Mora Bosmat, leading our teachers in a dance. And that song is an Israeli song, and it's actually about kids in quarantine. And so you see they did all different hands movements that kind of symbolize different things that kids do, like bumping elbows, washing hands. So that was just some fun that we had with our wonderful teachers. All right, so if your family is new to charter, just so you kind of know what does it mean to send your children to a public charter school. So we are tuition free, and we are a public school. We're open to all. There are no tests or entry requirements to get in. We do run a lottery, and that's how we determine who gets chosen to have a seat in our school. We are held to the same standards as district schools, and we follow the same Common Core and things like that. We take state tests. Those are all the same. And you can apply to as many schools as you choose to. There are many families that apply to different charter networks. You're more than welcome to do so. It does not affect your chances of getting into our school or into any other school. All right. So our mission, really, really important to all of us as we do this work. And so Hebrew Public is our network. We are part of Hebrew Public. And our schools are leading a national movement of exceptional, diverse public charter schools that teach modern Hebrew to children of all backgrounds, and we prepare them to be successful global citizens. So that's something that makes us really special. We are a public charter school that teaches modern Hebrew as a language, and it is also a really big part of our culture, but we are not a religious school and we don't teach religion. So that's something that makes us really special, and it's very interesting for families. All right. Okay, and something that we really instill in all of our students are olam values. The word olam means world in Hebrew, since our students learn Hebrew. And these are kind of the values that we continually instill in our students and talk about and kind of weave into all of our work at the school. And so we are kind of teaching kids to have these values. And so this is an acronym, as you can see on this beautiful graphic over here that I did not make. Outstanding problem solvers, lifelong learners, aware communicators that make a difference. And I truly believe that the kids that go to our school embody these values. They're really great kids, but yeah, this is kind of what we teach kids every day, and it's a really important part of our adult culture as well as our kids. All right, let's do it.
Welcome to Hebrew Language Academy Charter School, or HLA. We are thrilled that you're able to join us for a virtual tour today. HLA is located in District 22 and has been serving our community since 2009. In the upcoming school year, we will serve over 500 students in grades K through 8. Our school is part of a larger network of schools called Hebrew Public. Hebrew Public Schools are diverse public charter schools that teach modern Hebrew to children of all backgrounds and prepare them to be successful global citizens. Global citizenship education includes the development of skills in communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. It also includes an emphasis on empathy and emotional intelligence. All of this brings me to our Olam values, which guide our entire community each day. The acronym Olam, which is the Hebrew word for world, represents these 4 core values. The first stop on our tour is our main office, where you can find our operations team, who can help with answering and supporting any questions our families may have. Our school leadership includes our interim head of school, Daniela Steinberg, assistant head of school for middle school, Kevin Morris, the assistant head of school for operations, Livette Robles, and our academic deans and deans of culture. HLA believes fully in the many benefits of learning a foreign language. Our students learn modern Hebrew. These classes are taught almost entirely in Hebrew. They also have the opportunity to learn about the culture and history of Israel. Each classroom at HLA is named after a city in Israel. And today we will be visiting the Yerushalayim classroom. Each kindergarten classroom is enrolled with approximately 30 students, a general studies teacher, and either a special education ICT teacher or an assistant teacher. Student-teacher ratios vary throughout the day depending on what subject is being taught. The convenience of a playground right outside the classrooms when students need to take a break foster collaboration, imaginative play, and teamwork. Students enjoy this space daily. Welcome to our gymnasium. This large space is often divided to serve multiple classes for physical education, but it is also used for hosting school-wide events. Our fitness program helps students develop and foster physical and athletic skills while teaching important lessons in teamwork and self-esteem building. HLA serves kosher breakfast and lunch for all students and snacks daily to students in grades K to 2. As a school that participates in the Community Eligibility Program, all students receive these meals for free. We are pleased to have a school nurse on site daily to administer medications and attend to any issues that might arise throughout the day. Next on our tour, we'll be visiting our second floor, where grades 1 through 4 are located. Our classrooms are comprised of approximately 26 students with 1 homeroom teacher, or in our ICT classes, a general education teacher and a special education teacher. Next stop is our third floor, where our middle school students in grades 5 through 8 learn. Our middle school students are taught by teachers who are experts in their subject area, preparing them to be successful in high school upon graduating HLA. They have opportunities to visit their lockers as needed and have technology available in each of the classrooms. Student support suites offer students a space to take a break, reset, reflect, and return to class ready to learn. The art room is a space for direct instruction as well as creative expression. The hallways and school events are often adorned with students' artwork. The science program is hands-on, and the teachers include experiments and cooperative group activities into their lesson. Thank you for joining us today for this virtual tour. If you have any additional questions, please do not hesitate to contact us by calling 718-377-7200 or emailing us at info@hlacharterschool.org. Shalom.
Great. So that was made a little while ago. So clearly we have a couple of updates. Mr. Richardson is now our assistant head of school. But other than that, that's our beautiful building. It's a great place. Really, really nice stuff. So hope to see you there. We're going to talk a little bit about academics. And just like I mentioned before, our curriculum follows all the New York State standards. We're Common Core aligned, nothing too different. What makes us really special, I believe, and I think it's really important for us, is that our academics are really high level and personalized to meet all kids' needs. We're here to teach every child, and that's something that really makes HLA special. We definitely have data-driven instruction. We use data to inform decisions that teachers make about what to teach. For example, if they teach a lesson and they give a little quiz and they notice that a lot of the kids maybe missed a part of the concept, that'll help them plan their lesson for the next day and say, hey, wait, I need to reteach, or I need to go over this. And that's something that we really instill in our teachers. So they use things like that. And then we also take NWEA map testing, which is computerized testing that helps us get some true data on how kids are doing in reading and math. Other components of our instruction include Hebrew, we teach science, we have specials, we have physical education, we have a really nice, big, beautiful gym, we have music, we have art, and we also have Hebrew dance, which is something that the kids love it. And obviously the adults love it too. So yeah, you can go to the next slide, please. So I thought it would be helpful just to kind of see a sample schedule. As you know, this year has been tricky. We've offered fully remote as well as a hybrid option. We were closed for a little bit and recently reopened. So I think, while we don't know all the details of next year, we are hoping and planning to have a more full schedule for all kids that are ready to come in. And so this is kind of the flow of a day. I think the key takeaways here are that we always have a morning meeting for all kids. For middle school, it's an advisory, but either way, it's a time that we have relationship building and other SEL components where we get time to just talk with kids. It's really, really important before we get started for the day. You'll notice that we have a special, they call them specials, like just Hebrew dance or PE. We have guided reading in lower school. That's a time that it's individualized. So it's small groups based on your level. And the teacher teaches different groups of kids at different times. And that's a really great way for them to boost their reading level and get individualized instruction. We typically have about 60 to 90 minutes of math, depending on the grade. We have Hebrew, lunch and recess. For ELA, we teach close reading and we teach expeditionary learning. The younger kids have Foundations, which is a phonics program to help them learn and get ready to spell and write. We also have music. We have a wonderful music teacher. She's the one that prepared that really cool music video that you saw earlier. And we also have science, and then the day ends with closing circle. So closing circle also time to kind of reflect, get kids ready to go home, talk about how the day went, and then say goodbye for the day. You can go to the next slide. All right, I'm going to turn over to Mr. Richardson in a minute. I just want to let you know that our middle school is also a really special place. And there's a few things that make our middle school really special. One of them is our Hebrew, right? And so because we teach Hebrew as a language, we're able to offer it as a Regents class for kids that choose to take it. In a typical year, not COVID, we have an awesome trip to Israel for 8th graders. It's called our capstone. Hoping that it comes back. This year has been tough. We have sports. Our sports teams are a really big highlight of our school. We have basketball and volleyball. And something that we are offering next year is electives for 7th and 8th grade. And so kids could take living environment, which is also a Regents class. So that's another Regent that they could take. Algebra is in 8th grade. That's also a Regents class. And we're offering STEM, debate and public speaking. For our artists, we're offering drawing and sculpture, and we're also offering creative writing. So those are our new electives that we've launched for next year. All students will sign up for something. So it's not a time where you don't have to go to class, but they get to choose, and we're really excited about that. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Richardson, and you could go to the next slide.
Yeah, really super excited about those electives that we're going to have a chance to offer. As Ms. Steinberg was mentioning, it's kind of a way to reach every personality of kid. And as we know, middle schoolers have a wide array of personalities, and we're excited to be able to offer something no matter what their interest might be. And we're always trying to adapt and update and really reach as many people or many students as many ways as we can. And so, thinking of similar to how we did the lower school, we want to take a quick look at a sample middle school schedule. And this is likely to have or to change and to shift in response to the year that has been 2020 and 2021 with COVID. But a typical schedule, we start each day. We are a responsive classroom school, which means we do prioritize social and emotional well-being in addition to academics. They're equal consideration. And we launch every single day with advisory and breakfast. And advisory is a space for middle schoolers to connect, to talk about things that may be going on in their own worlds or maybe current events throughout the world and how to navigate those successfully. And we really want to make sure we prioritize that. And we also are big believers that reading is fundamental. And we prioritize having an hour of that a day. We do close reading, we do guided reading, we do different forms of that to continue to grow kids. So whether they be struggling or whether they be advanced, we're going to make sure they continue to grow where they're at rather than becoming stagnant. And reading is the basis for that. And then we do offer 45 minutes of social studies. We offer a chunk of Hebrew every single day, trying to get that. And it's a full immersive experience. We've got to shout that our Hebrew team out. They're not just reciting lines and words they see that are like and asking where's the library and that's it. They're actually like experiencing the whole thing, and they're like being spoken to in Hebrew, and they're having to pick up on visual cues, and it's really cool. I am jealous of them getting to go through this as middle schoolers and even elementary students. We also have a really robust PE program that is run by some of our coaches that, and then they've Miss Steinberg mentioned, run our sports teams, which are basketball and volleyball. They do pool double duty and run our physical education program. Then we offer science, lunch and recess, and a significant chunk of math as well for a full hour. And then we also have expeditionary learning. This is where you get some of your literary analysis or your essay writing, things like that tie back into ELA. And so you get a double dip of ELA to make sure students' needs are being met, as well as that big chunk of math. So those core subjects are being met, as well as offering some electives as well. And then, of course, that's a full day. It's time to go home unless you're sticking around for sports or after school activities.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. So just we talked about this. So every day starts out with morning meeting and advisory for middle school. And I just want to stress like how much our kids enjoy that time and how important SEL is and social emotional learning to our school. We really feel that like kids' whole existence is important, not just academics. If they're not and in a good place in their mind and their heart, they're not ready to learn. And so we really make that a very important part of our day. Great. So just to give you a little bit more information about our Hebrew, So as Mr. Richardson said, it's an immersive experience, right? So it's if you're old like me and you took Spanish or something in school, you learned language very differently. You had a textbook and they would make you recite things. I remember I had to repeat things and it was hard. Totally different experience learning Hebrew here. They just, all of a sudden, the kids are speaking Hebrew in kindergarten, and I can't explain it, and I don't know how they do it, right? So it's just amazing. It's fun, and it's not stressful, and I think that's a beautiful part of it. So they're really learning conversational Hebrew, right? They're not memorizing words in a grammar book. They are learning conversational Hebrew. They also, during non-COVID times, we have 2 teachers in a room, and we split it according to levels. So a child who's coming from Israel and is proficient in Hebrew may be in a more advanced group, while as a novice would be in a different group. And it just helps kids learn. And like I said, they're really learning through fun things. They come home singing songs in Hebrew. We have families that want to learn the songs too. And they just use a lot of interesting methods to get kids to learn Hebrew. And like I said, I really don't know how they do it. So you have to ask them yourself, but it's pretty amazing. All right, next slide, please. We'll show you.
Hey, Roger, just a flag that the audio isn't coming through.
Apologies about that. Let me try that again for you guys.
מותר לי להישאר איתך במקום ללכת עם אמא ואבא שלי?
לא, אני לא רוצה. את רחוק מאמא ואבא שלך. אני יודעת, אמא לא תסכים.
אבל זה לא פייר, כבר כולם אומרים לי לא.
אל תדאגי, את רחוק לבוא לבקר.
אוף, אני עדיין לא חושבת שזה פייר.
Great. So what I saw, we had one student who was proficient in Hebrew, probably speaks Hebrew at home, I think. And we had another student who is still a novice and learning Hebrew. I saw joy. We will never correct kids. They were both very happy to be engaged in this conversation. I think it's amazing. So great. Okay, a little bit about special education and ELL services. If your child does have an IEP, we have integrated co-teaching classrooms. So we have those 2 teacher rooms if kids need it. We have speech, OT, and PT. We offer them on site, and we will accommodate all of those. We do have in-house SETS providers. So if your child gets special education teacher support services, we have them on staff and they're part of our team. Of course, paraprofessionals are always provided, and we also have counseling available. We have counseling, just to be clear, if it's in your child's IEP, that's offered. We also have at-risk counseling, which is part of our support team. Even if your child doesn't have an IEP, we have a social worker that is available if there's tough stuff going on or kids just need someone to talk to. We have a staff that's prepared to provide that. And of course, if English is not your first language at home, we provide MLL services to kids that qualify for it. It is a positive thing. If that's something that is your child needs, I see it as a bonus, right? It's a plus to be able to get support in English, and it is nothing but good things. So if that's something that's going on and you have a couple languages being spoken at home, just let us know and we'll make sure that your child gets the support that they need. All right, I'm going to turn it over to my amazing assistant head of school for operations.
All righty, so we have 180 days of school. We follow the Department of Education's calendar for most of our breaks and holidays. We do offer Department of Education busing, which is free, and eligibility is determined by the Office of Pupil Transportation. Our typical school hours are from 8:45 to 3:30. And as you saw in our lovely tour video, we do have a Department of Health nurse on site at all times that we have students in our building. We offer free breakfast and lunch for all. Students in grades K through 2 also receive a snack at the end of each day. Our meals are kosher. Lunch is served in our classrooms currently, as well as breakfast. A monthly menu is shared with all families, and we also have it posted to our school website. Students have the opportunity to participate in recess. As you saw, we have a private playground for our kindergarten students. They have direct access to this playground from their classrooms. We also have a very large side yard that wraps around the perimeter of our building with a beautiful view of the water. A separate play space for our students in grades 1 to 8, and our extremely large gym can also be used for recess during inclement weather.
Thanks, Ms. Levette. Just want to let you know that we do have uniforms in our school and they are required. We ask families to support us in this mission by sending kids with the proper uniform. And I also want to make sure that you know that if there is any family that needs help with uniforms, we are always willing to provide that for you. And so that shouldn't be a barrier. And so our uniform policy is outlined here. So basically navy blue bottom, and the top is a light blue, a white, or a navy color. That's the gist. Great. Mr. Richardson?
Yeah, we do ask that you check our uniform options out before investing in those clothing items. If you come to our school, we have what we have for our current dress code for this year, which was we were a little more flexible. We pivoted to jeans without holes or dress pants, skirts, and just really sticking with that navy blue color for the bottoms, with the tops being solid white, solid light blue, or navy collared shirts or button down or any HLA wear. And then we do allow sweaters or sweater vests permitted over those uniform tops. Sometimes the building can be a little bit colder, a little bit warm, depending on people's personal preference. So we do try to accommodate that, but we do not use or allow sweatpants. We do require either sweatpants, skirts, or dress pants or jeans. And then we may make some pivots to that over the summer. We will make sure that that communication is very clear and sent out well in advance of the first day of school. And we won't change in the middle of the year.
Great. So actually something really, really exciting to share with all of you is that we are going to offer a free after school program, which is new for us for the upcoming school year, for any students that are interested in grades K through 5. And so that program will run from the time we dismiss class until 6 p.m. The only day that we will not offer that is on Fridays, because it is our own staff that will be teaching and hosting this program. And so Fridays are a day that we're going to let everyone go home at dismissal. So this will be a program where teachers will help kids with homework. They will also take small groups of guided reading. So if kids that are that need a little bit more support in reading will get it at that time. And kids that are accelerated will also have an opportunity to do work on a more advanced level. They'll get a snack, they'll do some fun activities, and pickup will be at 6 o'clock sharp. So that's something that we're really excited. There's no cost for the program. Once we send out the paperwork, we'll just ask that you sign up by a certain date, just so we know who's going to come. But that will be something really exciting for our school. And I think it will be really exciting for a lot of families who will be able to pick up their children after work. We also have a program called Kivun. It's a program that teaches some, I don't really know tons about it, but I think it's related to Chabad, and they take kids on Mondays. They pick them up. It's once a week, and certain families sign up for it if they're interested in that. Kings Bay Y is a partner of ours, and we work with them, and they have offered after school programs in the past. I'm not certain what the plans are for next year, but they are something, a place that we work closely with. They're good friends of ours. And so we join programs with them a lot of times. So we'll keep you posted about that. Great. So, like I said, our school is really, really special, and we do a lot of fun things. We're always adding more fun things, but we have, those are some pictures that I really like. We have spirit days. Kids dress up, they do opposite day, that's 100th day of school, so they look like they're old. We have a PTO, a parent teacher organization that we work closely with, and we plan events together. And they are parents of our students. And they're also a really great resource for you. If you're a new family, they can kind of show you around and answer some questions that you might have. We have a week to celebrate Israel because that's a really important part of our culture. We have monthly Olam Awards where we celebrate character, good character in kids, and kids get rewarded for just doing the right thing. And that's really something that the kids look forward to. We have Heritage Month and culture initiatives. So we really try to celebrate all cultures and all different types of people. And so we try to celebrate like everything and anything that comes up, we try to find a way to celebrate it. Federal holidays, of course, and end of year celebrations. I know those are usually a lot of fun, and I'm hoping that this year we're going to find some cool way to do it, even for kids that are at home. Okay, we're getting to the end. Something that's super important is communication. And I have found that, especially now, everyone's everywhere. People are going through tough times, and we have done our best to keep in touch. And so we send out a weekly newsletter. It's called Around the Mill because we're on Mill Avenue. So that's a place that families know that they can find everything that's going on that week. Links, I always write a letter. All of the members of my team add to it, and it's a cool thing that we do. Every teacher sends out their own newsletter every week on Friday. So if your child's class, you'll get all of the updates from there and kind of fun things that they're working on. Of course, we're on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram. We now use Parent Square. That's the way that we connect with families. Parents really like it. And if you email us, we will get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. It's something that we really hold ourselves to a high standard of being in touch. And so that's what we try to provide. All right.
So thank you so much, Daniela, for and the whole team, John, Livette, for giving such a comprehensive overview of what a school day looks like, a little bit about the culture that we try to build within the school. I just want to share again for the families that are joining right now. If you do have a question, please feel encouraged to drop it in the chat. We will go through them as they come in for everybody so we can all get the information. And while you're doing that right now, I do just want to call out and remind families, if you have already submitted an application, amazing, we're super excited. And it's a reminder that our lottery for HLA will be on April the 7th, the morning of April the 7th. And so you will be able to watch that live on Zoom. We will share out the credentials as we get a little bit closer to the library, to the lottery, but you don't need to watch, and we will share all of the results by email, by text message, and phone call right after the lottery. And if you are joining tonight and you haven't submitted an application yet, please make sure you do so by April 1st, because any application we collect after April 1st goes right to the waiting list, and we don't want you to be on the waiting list. We want you to be in our lottery, so hopefully you can get a seat the day of. And so I know that we have lots of questions coming in.
Ready to go.
Now.
Let's do it.
Let's go through them. So maybe I can read through them here and we'll go right through. Do you offer early drop-off services for parents that have to go to work early?
Okay, so right now, this is a unique year. We start at 8:45, but we offer early drop-off at 7:45. So to accommodate families that have to go to work, you can drop off your kid at 7:45 if you choose to. That's usually our typical time that we open our doors. 7:45 is the time that we open our doors. So I anticipate that will be our drop off time next year as well. What else?
Do
Seven-
the, oh,
Go ahead.
sure. Does the middle school 7th grade class, or I think maybe more broadly, is there any sort of after school programming for middle school families?
Yes, so we have sports, and we are also planning to offer some clubs that we'll let you know as when it's a little closer. So basically 6th through 8th are welcome to join clubs and sports, but they don't have that structured until 6 o'clock aftercare program that K to 5 has. So they will have activities, it's just not every single day until 6.
Awesome.
Okay.
So this is a really great question. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier in the presentation, but for a family who is maybe coming in at the middle school level and they have a new student, and maybe they're brand new to Hebrew, what does Hebrew look like for those sorts of students, and how do we meet their needs?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I would probably ask the same. So I think the best way to explain it is that we have groups. And so there's lots of kids that come into our middle school not speaking a word of Hebrew. We have teachers that, number one, are pretty skilled in figuring out how to get you where you need to be, but also because we have 2 groups, we're able to have a novice group and then a more advanced group. So kids that are just learning Hebrew are going to be immersed in this at their level. So not to worry about that.
Great. Okay, so I know this is a tough question to answer. I know there are still a lot of question marks with, kind of everything happening right now with COVID. But if there are still restrictions in the fall, do we have any sense of what the school will offer in terms of blended learning or 100% remote?
Yeah, here's what I could tell you. Right now, we just opened our K to 4 part of our school for 4 days of full in person. So we started out with 2 days, and now we have 4 days, which next year would probably be 5. So it'd be like a full time. The goal is to offer 5 days for families that want to be in person. It's really a little bit hard to tell because right now we still have this 6 feet between desks. And so they are talking about changing that. And so we're just kind of waiting to see what the guidelines are because we always follow the CDC. And so our goal is to offer fully in person and then, possibly remote for certain families. But I don't want to promise it. I could tell you that's our goal, and we'll do everything we can to offer that. And we'll let you know as soon as we know.
Great. Okay, so we had a few questions come in. They were a little specific, but maybe we could talk a little bit just broadly about transportation and kind of like what that looks like and just kind of an overview of that.
I'll turn it to Livette.
We have currently 11 bus routes. They run on 11 buses that run on 11 separate bus routes. We offer stop-to-stop bus service, meaning you would be receiving the list of all of our bus stops, and you would be deciding which bus stop is most convenient for you. So I think the question was more geared towards what happens if the bus stop is too far away. We don't have many families where the bus stop is not accessible to them. However, those families do drive their children in or find other means of transportation to come in.
Perfect. We had a few questions come in just broadly about, I think, like IEPs and if we accept children. And I'll let Danielle say a little bit, but I will just reiterate again what we shared earlier in the presentation. HLA is a public charter school. We are open to all families. Anyone can submit an application, and we work with all families to make sure we do the best we can to meet their needs. Is there anything else maybe I missed there, Danielle, or anything else that you think is important to share?
I think that I 100% agree with everything that Roger said. I think, you know, we are here to accommodate every student if we can, right? I just want to be clear that what the settings that we do offer, we have ICT classes. They're still full size, right? Up to 30 students with 2 teachers. We have sets, and then we have all the related services. What we do not have is we do not have self-contained classrooms. So if your child is meant to be in a class with 12 kids or 8 kids, those are classrooms that unfortunately right now we don't offer, we don't have them, we don't have the staff for it. And so if that is your situation, please talk to me. Definitely see what we could do, but I just want you to know, like, officially we don't have those settings at our school. I just want to quickly, I see a question about acceleration. So I just want to answer that really quickly. There have been specific situations in our school that a student came in way above grade level. That was a very specific situation that we provided extensive testing from our team and made a decision that the child would go to the next grade. It doesn't happen often. It's not a very common decision that we make for many reasons, but I don't want to say it never happens. So if your child is in that situation, please talk to me about it. We'll work with you. But in general, because of like emotional maturity, try to keep kids at the grade of their age, unless there's a specific case for specific students. So it's not no, but it's talk to me because it's really a specific question. I'm going to turn to Mr. Richardson for a minute. I saw there's a question about bullying and coming out of a Dean of Culture role. He's really the right person to answer this.
Happy to. So in terms of how we approach bullying and anything that comes up in terms of that might lead to consequences or lead to a reaction from the school, we try to be very restorative with what we do. And so what that means is we're going to work with the student that's been bullied and try to figure out, you know, help them unpack with what they're dealing with, what the gamut of emotions that they're dealing with. We have on-site school counseling, we have on-site social workers that we work with very closely to make sure that they feel supported. And we also feel like it's really important to work with the student that's doing the bullying to kind of figure out why that is happening, because we don't want to just address the symptoms, we want to address the root cause. And so we talk to the student that's doing the bullying, we get to the bottom of that, and we try to root that out. And then we really prioritize restoring the relationship between the students. They don't have to walk away being best friends, but we do try to make sure that they're in a place where they understand each other a bit better and they're able to stay in school together and learn from each other. And even if they, they have to put we have to put a few accommodations in place where we're not tolerant of bullying. So we will find a way to address it and address it as appropriate. But we really prioritize being restorative in our practices for both parties.
Great, thanks. And I just want to add that one thing that we really prioritize as well is kind of the structure of our team. We have a pretty significant number of people on our team that are there for student support. We have a social worker, we have a guidance counselor, we have 2 assistant deans about to have. We have a director of culture who's kind of like a senior dean supervising those 2. And then we have our leadership team. So we're very proactive, right? Kids go through things, kids struggle, kids have their moments, they're kids. And so what we try to do is just be in those classrooms, be on top of it. If a kid has test anxiety, let's figure out a plan to make sure that they feel comfortable so they don't get to the point where they're throwing their pencil and getting really upset when the test comes. And so that's really, I think, our number one goal is to identify what's going on with our kids and figure out how to help them before it snowballs into something bigger. And of course, connecting with our families to figure out, like, how can we help? What do we need to know? And how can we partner to support your child?
Perfect. So I think we're winding down now, and we had one more question come in that I want to speak to a little bit, and I think it'll be a great place to end. We had a question come in about the process after the lottery pick, and if there is a waiting list following or a second round. So just to speak a little bit more about that. We will have our lottery on April 7th. And so, you will find out that day, like we said earlier, whether or not your child is offered a seat that day. And there is a possibility that, they may be placed on the waiting list. But the reality is, and I say this to all families, if you feel like HLA is the place for your family, and you know it's where you want to be, even if you are on the waiting list after the lottery, we definitely go through it. It might take a week, it might take a few weeks, but we do continue to make offers off of the wait list often. You know, families can apply to multiple charter schools, and you know, just because they get an offer at HLA, that doesn't always mean that they're going to decide to take it and enroll. And so I just want to, you know, remind all families to if you feel like HLA is the place for you, and you don't get an offer the day of, just stick with us, and you know, we will reach out and we will continue to make offers.
And Roger, I just want to add, like, if you think of questions or you need to know something, please call us. Like, we are here. We will call you back. That's the best way to find out things is just to ask. And so please don't hesitate to give us a call.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank everybody again so much for joining. And if you have any questions, like Daniela said, please feel free to reach out to us, info@hlacharterschool.org, or you can reach out to me. That's Roger at Hebrew Public. If you've already applied, I'm sure you've gotten lots of emails from me already, so feel free to reach out. And otherwise, we hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful evening. And thank you again, HLA team, for putting this together tonight. Have a great evening, everybody. Bye-bye.